So what is Apex Legends and should you start playing it? In this video I'm going to give you a bit of a review from a Battlefield player's perspective on a game that has popped up out of nowhere and taken the gaming world by surprise. As most of my subscribers will know, I'm a long-time Battlefield player and massive fan of the franchise, but I also like to play lots of other games in my spare time. The games I play range from first-person shooters to space simulators, and I think it's fair to say that I have a wide taste in games, giving me a decent outlook on whether a game is put together in the right way, at least from the player's perspective. Apex Legends wasn't a game I was keeping tabs on at all, it just seemed to spring up out of nowhere and was suddenly the #1 played game on Twitch and flooded my YouTube recommended section with videos from all the popular creators. It reminded me of another few Battle Royale games that came to the spotlight a year or so ago, and we all know how popular they were. I'm of course talking about Fortnite and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds was a little bit earlier than that, but they were immensely popular, with Fortnite being a game that has broken record after record. Apex Legends is a free-to-play AAA game available on PC, Xbox and PlayStation 4. It's based in the Titanfall universe, a little bit after Titanfall 2 I suppose, 30 or 40 years I think. It takes some of the best bits from other games whilst carving a new style that in all honesty is quite refreshing, and it's a nice move away from the stale Battle Royale modes we've all come to know so well. It's certainly not a mode that's been taped onto the back of Titanfall 2, it's its own thing. They've really taken a lot of effort to make this a standalone AAA title, and it doesn't feel as if they've just said, we're going to make a Battle Royale and jump on the bandwagon. This is purpose-built, and it really feels like a polished product on day one. Respawn, and they're the developers, are in my opinion one of the most underrated developers of all time. Anything that they seem to touch is good. It's maybe not Game of the Year material, or it's maybe not the best selling game, but it's always good. And that's what I like to think. They're honest and they create things properly. You're not going to be seeing any weird stuff with this game. You're buying, or in this case, it's free to play so you're not, but you're getting exactly what you expect from the game. It looks like it could be a really great one. A quick review for those that don't want to stick around. The game runs fantastically on my PC, I get great frames, it looks good, and it's clearly not in any state of early release. A proper AAA title, it's great fun with friends, and full of content on release. I am viewing it as something not as hardcore as PUBG, but not as crazy as Fortnite, with Titanfall 2 weapons and an Overwatch style hero system. It's really good fun and is here to stay. The player numbers have been insane, with over 2 million in the first couple of days and 600,000 concurrent players within the first week. It's just absolutely crazy for a new game to take the spotlight like it's done, and it's of course been the major game on Twitch as well, displacing Fortnite a few days in a row, and no new game has done that to Fortnite so far since it reached that insane popularity as far as I'm aware. There are 8 legends so far, all with abilities that allow players to work together, and this can make for some pretty special gameplay. It's something I'm still yet to get completely to grips with, whilst that can be said for most of the maps and weapons as well. However, that's the case with any new game, and to be honest, it's quite refreshing having something new to learn. It's not just a simple plug in and play Battle Royale where last man alive wins. In this one there's a lot of different stuff you can do, the team composition is important, the weapons are interesting, they feel punchy in that futuristic setting, it's just really good fun all round. Think of it in the same way as Rainbow Six Siege or Overwatch as I mentioned before, different setups complement each other but in a Battle Royale setting. For example, one character has an airstrike that provides a great opportunity to remove camping players from platforms that you can't quite see onto, or maybe players hiding behind something. You could maybe link that up with the zipline as I tried with my friends, so one character's ability will allow you to place a zipline that you can fly down, drop your airstrike and then go back along the zipline to safety. It's little interesting things like this that I'm sure you'll see appearing in guides and strategies, and that's just exciting for anyone playing the game. As I mentioned earlier, this is set in the Titanfall universe. This annoyed quite a few Titanfall fans because not only did they want to see more of the wall running and double jumping movement that we actually aren't getting in Apex Legends, they also wanted Titanfall 3. Titanfall 3 will almost certainly be a different game for a different time. And right now I think it's great that Respawn will be making some serious money with this game by the looks of things, and considering its popularity they might be able to translate that into Titanfall 3. They have reported that Titanfall 3 is not currently in production, but that's not to say it won't appear in the future if this game continues to be successful. As I just mentioned, no wall running, no double jumping, and on top of that, no Titans. They might appear in a game mode, maybe a limited time mode, I'm not too sure, but for the most part, that stuff's not in the game. One interesting point with Apex Legends is its distinct lack of promotion. This was in itself quite clever. Most games these days are either overhyped or marketed really badly. Think about Battlefield 5. That game would have almost certainly had more success if DICE hadn't posted the reveal trailer at all, and therefore avoided all of that initial controversy, which is fairly unusual to say, but in that case, doing nothing was better than doing something. I'm not saying that the same thing would have been true for Apex Legends, but you can see what I'm saying. Sometimes saying nothing at all and leaving the community to build their own hype and not be disappointed because they've been promised things that aren't being delivered on release can be really successful. Respawn actually came out and said they didn't want to spend anything on marketing before the game was launched, as they wanted the game to speak for itself, and it has done exactly that. Good games will get promotion through content creators and players that own the game, telling their friends to pick it up and join them. The fact it's free to play is also helping, but hey, the money they'll make through cosmetics will be massive. A few things I really like in the game, and I've been over a few of these already. The special abilities of all the characters is really cool. The UI is fantastic. It's so nice to have a well-designed UI that just flows really well. The movement system is fast-paced. There's a little bit of stuff I'm yet to get used to, but it seems really smooth and nice in my opinion. You have projectiles, so no hit scan, which I love, coming from Battlefield, and the reviving system is really cool. I saw a good comment on Reddit summing up why this system is good. Essentially, when you're playing a normal Battle Royale like Fortnite or PUBG and you die, that's it, you're dead. Maybe you could be revived within a 10 or 15 second window or something like that, but once you're fully dead, that's it, you're gone. In Apex Legends, you can actually rescue teammates, so you don't have to sit the whole game out if your team is fairly competent and they, as I say, rescue you before you disappear into the abyss. Cosmetics are also in the game, and I'm glad that they are the only thing available to purchase with real money. It's nice that the game is free with cosmetics that you pay for, because that way everybody wins. When you're giving the consumers the choice, it's great, because the most basic principle of business is exactly that. You've got to have choice as a consumer. If people want to gamble with loot boxes, that's fine, although I personally don't like gambling in video games, but if it's going to be there, don't force it on everyone. It's got to be a choice. Now, a couple of things that the game definitely does need, and I'm not hating on it at all. It's come out in such a polished state. I'm so pleased that this game is what it is, but a few things that I would add in the first major update, and I'm sure they're going to. Solos and duos should be a priority for the developer, as although the squad play is really great and squadding up with randoms is made fairly straightforward with the intuitive UI and Comoros system, sometimes playing as a solo is just what players want to do. Now, I think maybe the way they've set up the squads and the three-man squads and the way different characters complement each other, it's going to be a squad-based game, but I can't see any harm with having solos and duos in there as well. Maybe even larger squads could be fun at the same time. Rejoining after your game crashes is also a feature that should come in at some point. We've had it in previous BRs, namely PUBG, that used to crash all the time and you could never rejoin your team. They introduced that, so I'm sure Respawn will do the same with Apex. And that's pretty much it. Isn't that amazing? Only a couple of things that on initial release I think should be added to the game. There are of course little bugs here and there, but I'm talking about the major things that need to be released. It's insane. I'm talking about a game that doesn't need a whole lot doing to it on release. That is a major move, and I'm so pleased that it's happened. As I'm a Battlefield YouTuber first and foremost, I thought I'd comment on the upcoming Firestorm mode and what Respawn's Apex Legends could do to it. EA might have dropped a clanger with this one. Self-competition is not great. Think back to Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 1 releasing at similar times, with Titanfall 2 getting absolutely slaughtered because of that, even though it was a great game. Battlefield 5 was actually dropped back by a month because they didn't want to compete with Red Dead and Call of Duty, and even though they're from different publishers, you can see where I'm getting at, they don't want to compete with a similar game or something that the consumers might choose to buy over their game. Battlefield players have lost a lot of goodwill with EA, so if Firestorm isn't ready on release, and Apex Legends has set the bar now, I can see most players dropping it immediately. It's also not currently releasing as a free-to-play, which is pretty obviously going to harm sales figures and player numbers, but more importantly, If you pay for a game, you expect it to be completed, finished, in a really good playable state. If a game's free to play, you're more than happy to accept some issues with the game because you haven't actually paid for it, so there's not as much of an issue there from a consumer's point of view, in my opinion. Firestorm's going to be attached to Battlefield 5, you have to buy the full game, on sale probably 25-30 quid, $25-30, something like that, and well, if I'm paying that much for a game that's not completed, I'm not saying it won't be, but if Battlefield 5 is anything to go by, it won't be in the best state on release. I'm not going to be best pleased, I'm not going to play it, and I'll probably play Apex Legends instead. So that's going to be an interesting comparison when it releases. That being said, this video is about Apex Legends. The game is fantastic. I'm not going to give it a rating out of 10, you can do that yourself, but personally, from my point of view, it's in a very, very good state. It's a game I'm going to be playing a lot of. I think it's a load of fun, and it's a free-to-play. You have nothing to lose. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy, leave a like. Let me know what you think of Apex Legends in the comments below. If you want me to make more content on this game, also let me know below, and I will do my best to add another game to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.